And that is a bold-faced lie from the pits of hell. Not that you're hating on anyone. It's not. It's something called protecting your peace. I'm telling you guys, it has been life-changing. If you feel like you are lost, discouraged, you just are not doing things the right way, listen to this video. What's up, everyone? Welcome back or to my channel if you're new here. My name is Aggie, and as you can see from the title, we are talking about how to slay your 20s. And this is coming from a very proud 31-year-old. I remember being in my early 20s and 30 was like a far away concept, thought, and it was considered old. Now that I am on the other side, I realize 30, being in your 30s is so very young. I have so much more life to live, God willing. If you feel like you are lost, if you are discouraged and you are in your 20s, if you feel like you just are not doing things the right way, listen to this video. I hope it encourages you, it inspires you, and just leaves you feeling a lot better about yourself. A little spoiler alert, you are just fine. You're going to do just fine. I feel like there is this concept that once you are in, or once you reach 30, you have to have everything figured out. And that is a bold-faced lie from the pits of hell. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to have everything figured out by 30. But there are a lot of things you can do to set yourself up for success so you can thrive in your 30s, as I like to think I am. So the very first thing, you need to learn how to zone out other people whenever you start feeling bad about yourself, or whenever you start noticing that what you're seeing is making you feel bad about yourself. A lot of why we feel self-conscious and how we start getting into comparing ourselves to others is through social media. And there are a lot of great ways to avoid consuming content that makes you like misjudge yourself or feel like you're not doing enough. Honey, you can mute on Instagram, you can unfollow pages on Instagram, you can even click not interested on certain pieces of content that you're seeing, especially if you're like, oh, I'm their age and they're doing so-and-so and I'm not. And you start feeling like, oh, I'm not doing enough or I'm not doing the right things. Stop it. Comparison, as we all know, is the thief of joy. It's also okay to completely unplug and to delete apps from your phone. Whatever you need to do to prevent yourself from comparing yourself to others, honey, do that. It'll save you so much stress, so much anxiety. Trust me, trust me. And it's not that you're hating on anyone. It's not. It's something called protecting your peace, okay? And I think it's a natural thing to compare yourself, especially like if you're like me, you went through college, so you had that shared period in time with your peers, and then after that people go in different directions. People enter the workforce, people go back to school, people travel, people do all sorts of things post-college. It's so easy to compare yourself, but it really is a thief of joy, and it will keep you from getting to where you are meant to be. Okay, the second thing is to do what you want to do. Not what your mom or dad wants you to do, not what your friends are wanting you to do, not what social media suggests you're supposed to do. Do what you want to do. It's going to require a lot of time with yourself and with God. It's going to require just being with yourself, enjoying your own company. I highly encourage solo travel, solo dates, just to really get clarity as to what it is that you want out of this life, what you want to do. Always go back to spending time with yourself and God. I'm sorry, it's as simple as that. It's going to keep you from wasting your time and getting confused in what you're seeing other people do. Because you're going to see people making money from doing certain things. You're going to think, oh, I want to make that much money, or it looks like what they did was, you know, got them to success quickly. Maybe I should do that. But that's not what God put you on this earth to do. So, honey, what do you want to do? What is God's will on your life? Just get that vision for your goals in life and what you want out of life, so that you do not get confused whenever other people and social media and just different platforms are telling you differently. And this comes to relationships, this comes to careers, it comes to everything. Whenever you care about what others think about you, it really keeps you from your blessing and also from being a blessing to others. Whenever I first made this YouTube channel, which was 2016, If I had thought too much about how people might perceive me being on YouTube, because believe it or not, I am an introvert. If I had dwelled on how others could perceive me making videos on YouTube, I would have never been able to now have 17,000 subscribers, for one, and for two, be able to touch so many lives, just sharing my experiences, sharing my life. If I had stuck with my original plan of pursuing being a nurse midwife, if you're new here, I was on track to being a nurse midwife at one point. I went through labor and delivery nursing, went through grad school, and then while in grad school, I decided that I no longer wanted that career path and I pivoted to dermatology. You might not know, but I had a lot of people that were like, how can you just switch from one specialty to another? Like polar opposites, labor delivery, women's health to dermatology. Like, how can you make that switch? I got a lot of skepticism from people who knew me and people who didn't know me. If I had let that dictate how I chose to spend the rest of my life, what I did with my career, I would not be as happy as I am now working as a dermatology nurse practitioner. So again, do what it is that you want to do and ignore everything else. Okay, the next thing is to stay focused on the end goal. Once you are blessed with a vision for your life, or just a short-term goal, a long-term goal, stay focused on that. It'll help you get through the challenges of reaching that goal. So for me, in my 20s, I was really pursuing my career as a nurse practitioner. That was the end goal. So although I missed out on the prime time to do travel nursing, I knew I had to get through grad school first, get that done with, and then the end goal was being a nurse practitioner. I was able to fulfill that short-term goal of being a travel nurse, but I first needed to get through grad school. So I had to focus on that end goal to not get distracted by what other people were doing and what I could be doing that would ultimately make me not get to the end goal. Also, my end goal was being a homeowner, having a family, and having the means to travel as I wish, because travel is super important to me. And so again, when it came to missing social events in my 20s, or just not being able to partake in events that my peers were doing, I had to realize what my end goal was, and everything I was doing in that moment was leading me to reaching those end goals of being able to have the career, being able to afford a home, hopefully being able to have a family to take care of, and then also being able to have the means to travel. Next tip on how to slay your 20s is you have to keep an attitude of gratitude. No matter what season you're in, you are living in some answered prayer. Although in my early to mid 20s, I was not yet in my final career, or I wasn't in a long-term committed relationship, or I wasn't a homeowner, I still was employed. I still had family, I still had my health, I still had friendships that were really important to me. I was living in answered prayers. I was living in my answered prayers, and to be honest, other people's answered prayers. So I've always had something to be grateful for, and so do you. If you have air in your lungs, you are living in an answered prayer. So keep that at the forefront of your mind, and that will really help you to have just a more positive outlook on life and the season that you're in, especially if it is a challenging one, if it is a trying one where you just have to keep your head down and focused, and you know, there's other things that you have to say no to that you don't want to. Just understand that you are living an answered prayer, and to have an attitude of gratitude, and just to thank God in advance for what's to come, and for how you are going to see the fruits of your labor, and how this grinding season that you're in, or whatever season you're in, be it grind season, be it grieving season, be it whatever, if it does have an underlying sentiment of sorrow or just hardship, that you are going to get through this. Oh, even now that I have the career, I have the home, I have the husband, I'm not in like where I ultimately want to be in life, right? I still have a lot more dreams and aspirations, but I am living in an answered prayer. Like, all of this is what I asked God for, and I worked my butt off for, and I'm here. And so whenever I find myself like just always looking forward to what's next, I have to really check myself and say, girl, like, look at you. Like, you are doing it. You did it. Just enjoy where you are. Enjoy where you are. And that's something that I'm constantly even reminding myself into this day. And I also want you to remind yourself is to just live in the present and to find some type of joy and gratitude in whatever season you are in right now. And then finally, I've already gotten a little churchy on you guys, and it's not been on purpose. And it's something that I am even working on. I'm actually now in my 30s that I did not fully have an understanding of in my 20s. And that is to build a relationship with God. Really is the plug. Build a relationship with God. This means it doesn't have to be like, oh, you got to throw away all the fun stuff, so to speak. You got to stop doing X, Y, and Z. No, it's about learning what God wants for your life, talking to him, reading the Bible, finding a church home. When I tell you, it will give you, the reason why this is the code, it will give you so much clarity as to your purpose in life and how to cope with the challenges of life. I'm telling you guys, it has been life-changing just building a relationship with God. I've always been a Christian. I've always prayed. That's kind of been like about it. Like, I've had some church homes throughout. That sounds so bad. I've had like some church homes, but I've never been like involved. I felt like community in them. Felt like I could be vulnerable in a church space, to be honest. Now in my 30s, you know, finding and prioritizing that relationship with God has really changed everything. And I wish I did it earlier in my 20s, because I feel like it would have made my life a lot easier. If you're feeling lost in this world, if you feel lonely, if you feel unsure, if you feel depressed, seek God. That is the answer, period, point blank. That's all I have for you guys. I did not mean to get super churchy on you guys, because if you know me, I mean, I am a Christian, I'm a God-fearing woman, but I also like to have a good time, okay? So I'm not like, you know, uppity about it, but it's just, it doesn't have to be that way. I used to be so judgmental about people who spoke about God or like interjected God and everything. And it's just not that deep. Like, it really isn't. Like, it's just the plug. I'm just sharing this because I can't make a video talking about how to slay your 20s without talking about the source of how to navigate your 20s and how to navigate your life in general. And that is seeking and building a relationship with God. So I'm gonna end it there. Let me know your age down in the comments, what advice you would give for someone in their 20s or their 30s. Please, as a young 31-year-old, tell me what tips, what advice you would have, what you learned from your 20s or from your 30s, from your 40s. Like, what advice would you share to your younger self? I want to know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe. I've reached 17,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for hanging with me through the journey of my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.